it's Tuesday and she's back off of her jollies, back to work. And today it is Tuesday, so it's time for our Tuesday talk, and we will be talking about the pre-completion checks. So that's between the promesse de vente and the acte de vente. Over to you.
So there's a few things that the notaire is going to do. So most of the documents are already available when you sign the promesse de vente at the notaire's office or by power of attorney. But in between the signature of the first contract and the second, there are various things that need to be done. So firstly, and we have talked about this separately, is notifications to anybody who might have a right of preemption on the property, either the mairie or the SAFER, the French Farmers Organisation. Also, though, the notaire needs to do some certain checks. So he needs to make sure that the vendors aren't in a situation of bankruptcy. He needs to check as well that the buyers haven't been convicted of being slum landlords here in France, because if they have been, then they check the criminal records, and if they have been convicted, then people can be stopped from buying another property.
What does it mean to be a slum landlord?
It means that you've been convicted of being renting out a property that's either insalubrious or you've had too many occupants in it.
Right, okay.
It's anything that's really,
so
really dodgy, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, there's a couple of other things. If they haven't already, they need to get the equivalent of the inquiries from the local mairie to make sure that the motorway is not being continued through the garden or something like that. And they also need to check against the property, so at the land registry, to make sure there's no debt registered on the property. That's quite an important one, because here in France, the debt is registered on the property itself rather than the owners who had the debt. So that has to be lifted. So firstly, if there is a mortgage, for example, they will check with the mortgage company to make sure that how much is to be paid off, what the redemption figure is, and also that it's selling for enough money to be able to clear that debt. And then the vendors would just get what's left. But it can also happen where there's taxes and fees and additional charges for late payment that have been put onto the property. And most commonly we see that when it's for tax foncière or tax habitation that hasn't been paid for.
Okay.
So the Treasury have a right to put a charge onto the property, and that has to be settled before completion takes place. And the charge has to be lifted. It's a proper formal legal procedure. So the charge on the property is lifted once that debt is settled.
Okay, thank you.